Good morning, beautiful people. I'm Chris from the Landlord Training Institute. We help income property owners manage their properties themselves without the stress of tenants and toilets or the ongoing monthly expense of a property manager. This week's video is all about what you should be ordering from Amazon Prime. Alright, so one of the first things I do when I get a property under contract, so this is removing conditions, is I make sure I know exactly the number of doors that I've got and exactly what style hinges are on each door. And unfortunately for me, oftentimes with the properties that I buy, there are different style hinges on different doors simply because some will have been replaced at some time and some have not. And so I'll count the number of hinges of each style and get that number recorded. The next thing I do is I make sure I know which style doorknob I need and how many for every single door. So that's throughout the house, including common areas and entry doors. So exterior doors, yes, you need to count them. The reason I do that is because I always replace door hinges and doorknobs off Amazon Prime. And it's not because the hardware store won't have it. It's more because when you walk in a Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you're going, that big box store, and you need 25 or 30 doorknobs, they may not have all of them out on the shelf right now. And finding somebody in those stores who can actually go to the back and get some is not the easiest task in the world. So to avoid wasting that time, I get all of those off of Amazon. I'll get exactly what I need, and then I usually get one or two extras just in case I've counted wrong, because I don't want to be trying to match something up and having to drive across town to that store to do it. So doorknobs, you've got a couple different styles. You've got bathroom, you've got bedroom, you've got closet doorknobs, you've got exterior doorknobs. You're going to want to record the number of each, and I always get those off Amazon Prime. For door hinges, there are several different styles, and you may have several different styles, unfortunately. If you can standardize these across doors, I would say do it. But if your doors are in good shape, and even honestly, if your hinges are in good shape, you can probably retain what's there. What I find frequently is hinges get painted over and then they also get super tarnished. Anything that's brass, just get rid of it. It is not 1984. Next up, staying on that theme, whether you're replacing them or not, cabinet pulls. The Amazon Basics brand are actually really quite good and they're dirt cheap. Order the number you need plus one or two extras. I usually throw those one or two extras in the mechanical room on site, just so that if one ever gets broken or something like that, I know exactly where it is and it can be replaced very easily. I don't have to go back and find that style number or anything like that. So those are probably the top three that I would suggest that you absolutely need to be ordering off Amazon Prime. Door hinges, doorknobs, and cabinet pulls. Stick with the same style. I always use brushed stainless for all of that stuff. Don't interchange those styles. You don't want brass hinges and stainless knobs or something like that. It's going to look a little oddball. It's going to look pretty amateur if you do something like that. So just keep it consistent. Next up, I've talked about these before, but I always order my Deadbolts off Amazon. I have been going with Schlage BE365. Those are the Schlage digital version of Deadbolts for a number of years, probably honestly almost 15 years now. But I'm recently switching all of those out to a Wiser 816, which is a master key version of a manual Deadbolt. And I'm doing that because the quality control at Schlage has just tanked the last few years. And to go along with Deadbolts, I always order my Lockboxes off Amazon Prime as well. I buy multi-unit single family homes. These are duplexes or triplexes. Generally speaking, in my area, these are up-down duplexes. If you're buying something similar and you've got different Deadbolts front and rear, what you want to do is get a couple different lockboxes and have a key for each Deadbolt in a separate lockbox. Set a contractor code, keep that contractor code consistent throughout the renovation. If you've had any new trades in, or maybe some folks that you haven't worked with for all that long, what I would suggest is after the renovation, immediately at the end of that, you change the lockbox code. Keep lockbox codes consistent throughout your portfolio. It will make your life much easier when you phone that same plumber that you always use. They know exactly what code to get into your units. So we're up to doorknobs, door hinges, cabinet pulls, deadbolts, and lockboxes. Those are 5 things that under all circumstances I personally would be getting off Amazon Prime. And I should probably address the money thing right now. This is actually not exclusively about money. Certain things like those Schlage BE365 locks that I was talking about, those are cheaper on Amazon Prime for me. You may find it's different in your area, but it's mostly about time and efficiency. I can get the exact same thing every single time with almost no effort on my part. Plus, they all come in the same box. I can even, on occasion, have these things shipped to the location where I want them. So I don't even have to transport them. So I'm going to time that out and I'm going to place that order based off of how long it takes to get things in my area from Amazon. And I'm going to make sure that arrives about 2 or 3 days after I've taken possession of that property. I'm going to probably leave that couple days of leeway in there just in case. And then all of my materials show up on site and I can get at replacing them. Now, because I buy properties that I know I'm going to be doing fairly extensive renovations to, I often will get cleaning supplies from Amazon as well. It avoids me having to go to a big box store and find certain things. In addition to that, I've actually never found anywhere that's even close to as cheap as Amazon Prime is for things like magic erasers. One other thing that I highly recommend you order off Amazon Prime is your toilet paper and towel holder sets. So those things usually come in about a 4 or 5 piece set, as well as a shower curtain rod. Always go with the curved shower curtain rod. I always do pressure fit, not screw into the wall, simply because if a pressure fit one falls down, every single tenant can figure out how to put that back up. If it's been screwed into the wall, now I've got a maintenance call and a maintenance expense. Next up, generally speaking, with the units that I buy, they never have curtain rods. And I don't know why, but most landlords don't provide this stuff. So I will always order curtain rods. When I have walked through the property at inspection, which is usually the first time that I've seen the property in person, when I do that, get a sense for how big the windows are. So if you've got an extra big window where you walk in and say, holy smokes, that's a huge window. You know, maybe there's 3 or 4 sort of set side by side to make it look like one big window. You're going to want to measure that, because if it doesn't have a curtain rod, I'm going to provide that. And so that day, I want it measured so that I don't waste time and I don't get 3 or 4 or 5 different orders from Amazon. I can lump all of this stuff together, one payment, one order, and it might be 5 or 6 boxes that show up, but it's all coming at the same time to that rental property. And while we're on the topic of window coverings, the very last thing I'm going to suggest in this video today is order temporary blinds. If you don't have window coverings, get temporary blinds and order them all off Amazon. They come in different widths. You literally just trim them with a pair of scissors or a razor knife, and they simply stick up with double-sided tape. They're temporary, they don't look good, they don't last, but they keep prying eyes out of your renovation. Your contractors will thank you that their stuff is out of sight. They go up in 5 minutes, they come down in even less than that, and they are super handy. I'm Chris, this is the Landlord Training Institute. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell below. I'll see you in the next video.